definitely
mumbling and cackling.
That bitch is mumbling and cackling.
While the queen is in the motherfucking stove.
Oh wait. Do we have to no, we have the intro already, so how did we do that last time? Or did we just, when we uploaded the thing, we just put the intro and then which one? That is smart.
So we have to do it, right?
No, we haven't. Remember, it's in our library. So when we want to make
let's
our
act like we're making the episode and put it, right?
Oh, okay. So then we would.
So how would we just need to
final
make sure.
Intro.
So we would add it.
Right. This is the final.
So do we add it? Boom.
So.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do we?
Okay, but isn't that what we? Okay, so when we're going to post it. Okay. So we did publish this. Okay.
Like let's act like we're doing.
Right. So then, we got 17 plays already. Good job.
And not just on here. We don't know what the other stuff is.
Okay, let's see. New. Vidode. This episode. Yeah. So then we're gonna add this.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Add recording to episode.
Okay, perfect. And then. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I have a dress on, so I should look.
Yeah. Maybe a pillow.
Yeah, some like cookies.
Yeah, get comfy. It's your house too.
It's my house. It's my house.
Live here. Okay.
It's my house.
So we're about to.
We're doing it.
In 3, 2, 1. Wow.
What's up, guys?
Episode 2, bitch.
Look at
Cheers.
We've made it to a new week.
Mm-hmm. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? How do you feel?
I feel really good. This drink helps. And
Yeah.
we're not saying what cocktail we're sipping on because this is not a sponsored ad.
Okay.
But
Send the motherfucking funds.
Because the bills do now.
Okay. Not later.
Period.
So today's episode we have named Dating While Spiritual.
Yeah.
I love that for us.
I do. So, should we start by saying what our status is currently? That's probably a good way to start.
That's a good way to open.
We're a good mystery. Are we married? Are we single?
Okay.
Are we polyamorous?
Wow. I know there's so many
It's
options
a lot of things.
these days.
Because I personally don't talk about anything, so no one knows.
Wow. Well, why don't you start?
It's giving healed single though. Let's talk about it.
Okay, period. Yes. I will also stand for the newly single but been healed, honey. Okay.
Period. So it's giving single then healed summers. Baby.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Period.
I like
Impeccable
that.
timing.
It's really great. We've never been single at the same time.
Wow. That's so true.
I know.
We finna act up.
Cutting up, but that's for another episode. And that's for maybe the close friends group.
Okay.
But anyway, so this episode is talking about dating while
Spiritual. How do you feel like you relate to
I don't.
men? Okay. All right. Episode done.
Just kidding. I don't relate to these earthlings.
Okay,
No.
I feel that.
I think that, you know what's so funny? I'm a lover girl. It's the Cancer in me. So I love a bounce back.
Yes.
I do take my time, however, because I'm always in
Okay.
very long relationships.
Yeah.
And I took my time and really was working on myself. But now I'm like,
Be outside.
what's going on out here?
What is going on?
And
out
also, the men are so much finer than they've ever been.
I feel like I've been seeing like what is
It's
it?
something in
water
the
you're
milk,
drinking?
the oat milk.
What
I don't
is
know
it,
what's
babes?
going on.
So
babes.
drinking water these days.
It's
Is it
in
water?
water.
Like what are you drinking?
I don't know.
Um,
But I like what I see, and I see what I like.
Okay. Period.
So what about you? Give your status.
Yes, my status is newly single. I feel like
Are you ready to mingle?
if we're talking about today, like right now,
Today?
I would probably say no. Like, I'm not interested in mingling with anybody today. But I'm a strong believer in, like, what's for me will be, you know what I mean?
It's giving open heart chakra.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm not closed off to it, but, like, I don't think that I care about it so much today. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I did have to go through, like, a long, like, shadow work type journey to even get myself in this place to be ready to receive the type of love that I've always like pictured in my head or envisioned or dreamed about. So I feel like even before this last relationship, I don't think that I was really ready for what I was expecting from that relationship.
Did you have expectations?
I think my only expectation was to find my energetic match, and I think I really did find that. So I feel like the relationship served its purpose, even though it was short. But
short and mighty.
Short and mighty. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that. And that's the thing, is that like when you are in these stages, especially when you're really doing the shadow work, and I'm really talking about dedicating the time with yourself, and then you just genuinely meet somebody. Yeah. You are at a different stage in dating because the red flags are no longer loud. Yeah. The red flags are like pink flags. Very faint.
Yes.
They're the little baby
spotting flags.
Spotting flags. They're not loud, red, and proud.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So I think that's the thing that was interesting about your dating situation is that the red flags were not.
They were not very loud. Yes, no, they weren't. They weren't.
Which also is an interesting part because that's something to be aware of when you are elevating as as this new person.
Yeah.
Is that you're literally going into a stage where the dating is definitely different than what you've ever experienced because you're not going to have all these crazy traumatic off the wall experiences that you would normally have in like the beginning parts of your life. I feel, you know?
Yeah, because we've been through some. But yeah, I feel like this is. I feel like we ain't gonna go down that road. But
I done got this tear tattoo.
Okay. But I do feel like this was something that like I really needed to experience, and I think that I had to be honest with myself in the end. Like, you know what? Before this really like bloomed into what it was, I was still just, we'll just see what happens. Like going with, which is nothing wrong with going with the flow, but I think after now I'm realizing like, no, you're actually ready to be married.
Oh,
you're ready to be married. You're ready for kids. You're ready for like the things that you say that you want, but really when you're put in those situations, like it shows that you're not ready at all. So this situation let me know that I actually am ready. Like the patience that I had. Yeah, like
so
the
are
kindness,
you since we're there, I know that you said you're not ready to mingle as of today.
Right. No.
But as of next week, are you a swipe left kind of girl? Or are you a impromptu, you gotta catch me in real life kind of girl? Because I'm a real life kind of girl.
I know you are.
I
you
love
have such great experiences in real life.
Yeah, I think that my best work, it's like Picasso, I feel like my best work is in person because also I can feel things immediately. Yeah. That's also why I think that like for me personally, it's a little scary. I think the thought of like not feeling, so it's like people can talk with a game. I think but when you're in person, you can't fake that. So I think that that's also the biggest part for me is that I think when I'm in person and I'm just genuinely in my Empress energy, I'm just trotting around. Like I take myself out to go eat. So it's like if you even come to all this, you already have to have some kind of energy. So I think I'm able to feel things right away. Like what you're giving to the party.
That actually it does make sense. I feel like that makes it easier for you to feel it out because I feel like sometimes
you can feel when something's off right away.
You can feel when something's off right away, and I think it's harder for people to hide behind like who they're trying to be. Right. It's not impossible, but it's harder when it's like an in-person situation.
Right. What do you prefer?
I would 100% prefer for someone to step to me in person. I'm just putting that out there into the universe because what the fuck, okay? But my whole dating life, it's mainly just been online because I feel like most of the time men don't really have any way to like fully read me in person. Like I give a lot of different energy. I think that like I'm not someone that like you can just read by its cover. So I feel like on dating apps, I can control what people are seeing about me first. So I do put little, you know, thirst traps on there, but usually the people who respond, I don't respond to them kind of thing. You know what I mean?
So because I feel like you're more of like an established, like you know what to do on these apps. The biggest question I think people ask you, because you do get, like, literally it was a good catch, right?
Yeah,
so
great catch.
What would you say if you decided to do the dating app? How, at this point in your spiritual elevation as this woman that you are, how do you set the boogie traps to just weed out the things that are not, because that's the thing about dating on apps versus meeting people in real life. So I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, because this is also my favorite thing to do. I love to tell a story, okay?
Okay,
the storyteller. But, okay. So on the apps, I prefer Hinge only because they have a lot of like different
This is not sponsored, but you definitely can.
Absolutely not sponsored, but Hinge, hit me up. So I do like to add things that reflect who I really am. I really keep away from like surfacey type things, like what's your favorite color, or like tell me what restaurant to go to. Like I don't give a shit. I know where to do all those things. I feel like I'm very intentional about what I'm saying on there so that the people that I'm attracting that I actually want to communicate with pay attention to how I'm communicating with them. So a lot of the prompts and stuff like that are talking about what I like to talk about, like law of attraction and, you know, going through these spiritual awakenings. Now, some people BLD and hit you with the, you know, way off the deep end. It's like, okay, I don't necessarily need to be.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like it's not a deep dive, but it's still like letting you know like the things that I actually am interested in. So there's that. Also, when it comes to pictures, that's the main booby trap. Most dudes are just on there. If you would see how fast these fingers are moving, they're not reading shit. They're not looking at shit. So it's the first picture is the most important picture because most of the time they're not even looking past the first picture. Most guys are just like, I've literally watched guys swipe on girls and it looks like a video game. Like they're literally just like left. Yeah, so it's like, it's actually kind of gross. Yes, exactly, it's chaotic.
See, that scares me.
Well, this is how you avoid that because I feel like the guys who just respond to the first picture with like my tits out, you know what I'm saying? I'm not responding to you. And I can get you out of the way early. Like you clearly didn't read anything that I put on there. You clearly did. So my last relationship that I was in, he did not look at any of the pictures and only responded to what I was saying. So our whole first like...
I'm sure he looked at the pictures.
I mean, of course he looked at the pictures, but he didn't he looked at the pictures, but he didn't respond to any of the pictures. Because he's like, I'm not looking at you. So do you feel like
a lot of guys will comment on like your images usually?
Yeah, it's usually like, you know, I look good. Like usually it's like...
So it's more about like
the booby traps, exactly. Yeah. So I will only put like one or two
nothing about the important things.
Exactly. So the ones that actually read my profile, who actually are reading what I'm saying and discussing, those are the ones that I engage with. But only because none of them would ever have the balls to come up to me in real life, and that I hate.
I know, but I feel like in this stage, because the tunnel, this is what we always talk about, is that the tunnel has to be very small in what you want, and you have to be, once you decide that that's what you want, anything that doesn't look like that, you don't even entertain it. So I think that having the tunnel very small allows only either the counterfeit
or the real
thing to come through, because you're not leaving the tunnel wide open for all of the shenanigans.
That's true.
That's the thing about in real life. I personally really lean more towards real life because it's not so much that can get through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And at that point, like I'm fully trusting that I am very clear on what I want and I'm very clear on what I desire. So not a lot is really gonna approach you anyway at that point in life, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I feel like I am very specific, but I feel like maybe in the past I've been closed off in a certain way as like maybe protecting yourself, like just not even accepting most energy. So then somehow there's like some sort of wall where I genuinely feel like men don't ever approach me like in real life. And when they do, they're on some low vibrational shit.
But I think that's also the thing is like having that outside of your head because you're someone different now. You jumped 10 timelines, babes.
Yeah. Right.
You're somebody else now. So even having the language and how we speak to ourselves, just because an experience, literally for the past 5 years, has been a certain way, babe, you're on 10 timeline now. So I think even just being kind and gracious with like allowing the fact that that is what happened. We're not taking away from that, but that doesn't mean that your experience is moving forward. And I think that's the thing about us water signs is like we live in like the delusion of like the romance part, which can be a downfall if you go down the slippery slope. I will say that, but that is also why we are fully open, because we almost act like things didn't even happen, which is bizarre. So for me personally, like I have gone through like all these different like, you know, relationships, but I'm fully open, like completely open, where I'm like, I think that's also why I do attract certain things, because I have had some crazy experiences in relationships and still come out of it like a fairy tale, like, oh, what's the next adventure?
Right.
You know? And I really believe that like everything that I want exists because I've been proven that, like, well, I pretty much got everything I want. I just got to be more specific.
Right.
And I just let it go. Like I let go what happened, and I'm fully open, and I actually allow men to show me themselves with no thoughts in my head about what's happened to me before. And if I see something that I don't like, I'm like, oh, well, that sucks, but I won't be moving forward with you on this timeline.
Right.
And then that's it.
Yeah,
but I keep myself fully open, and I think that's a big part of it too.
It really is. I feel like that it's really an unlearning that you have to do. Like that's something that you've been practicing since you were a kid with everything, not even just dating. So I feel like for me, it's like to know the knowledge is one thing, but to practice what you know is a whole nother thing. So I feel like it's something that we talk about a lot, just learning how to be selfish in these relationships, situationships, whatever we're experiencing, just dating, the whole thing. I think there's such like a negative stigma around like being selfish. Yeah. And I think that
what's wrong with being selfish?
I don't know. I've been called selfish before as a kid, and I just think that it was because I wasn't doing what my parent wanted me to do. Yeah. So I think that I kind of carried that negative stigma. But now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing like being selfish is actually like really sexy. It's really and it's how you intentionally date. Yeah, it's like, wow, that girl actually only does what works for her. Yeah. Like that's a badass to me. Yeah. And I feel like something that you told me that like really sat with me was just when it comes to dating though, keeping that same energy and not losing yourself in other people so that you can then move on with the fairy tale because you haven't lost yourself in it. And I think that that is something that I have been, have done in the past and not doing moving forward, is get lost in the people that I'm with, because that's my idea of like the fairy tale, So
me personally, I feel like the biggest key is I have a rule that I don't alter any engagements or anything in my calendar for anybody. I don't change anything.
Yes.
So if I know that like I have this podcast, you have to work around this podcast. You want to go on a date, babes? I'm not moving far. Like I'm gonna be done at this time. You can come drive an hour and come out here because I'm not going far. I'm gonna be tired. So if that doesn't work for you, then we can literally see each other next week, and that's okay. So I think like having like the balance of and again, one thing we can learn from men, honey, they will put themselves first. Yeah. For the most part, like men have a tendency. I think it's something. Maybe it's like something in like I don't know in their being, but they naturally are quote unquote selfish, but it's not even that that's a bad thing, because I believe that everyone should be selfish, especially in this life, because your purpose is going to require you being quote unquote selfish for you to be able to fulfill it, because a lot of things that literally God is telling you to do, people are definitely going to think you're selfish, because a lot of things that like I am told to do, it requires me not speaking to a lot of people sometimes. Right. It requires me not going to things, not missing birthdays or whatever, like not going on a trip because God's like, don't go.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. So does it look bad to the person who I didn't go with?
Right, maybe.
But at the end of the day, I'm serving my actual purpose, and that purpose is always going to outweigh a party. That's
anything else.
It's gonna outweigh everything. Yeah. So I think that that's the one thing that women can take from men is taking that. Putting yourself first. one thing that I've noticed, and this is a big part of, honestly, like, we gotta shake some shit up here. Like, a lot of this stuff did not work, and we keep tending to do the same thing, especially women. It's not, I feel like women are forgetting that you are literally the empress, right?
Yeah.
So why would you're not supposed to be concerned about the details. You're not supposed to be concerned about the heavy lifting. And if you're fully having faith that everything is orchestrated, everything is already taken care of, like literally, there's literally your ancestors, the angels, God is literally doing everything behind the scenes, then you would literally you wouldn't worry about anything. So that not worrying about anything reflects in your dating. Because if someone doesn't text you in the amount of time that you feel like is appropriate, you should not even be concerned. I think it's just literally deciding right then and there, babe, you don't fit on my timeline.
Right. Is it a turn off? I saw that too. Like,
is it a turn off?
Just make it a turn off. Like, stop like trying to, well, maybe he texted me. No. How did it make you feel?
Did it energetically make you feel when this person didn't follow up with something that they said?
Right.
Did it make you feel not good? That's enough.
It's a turn off.
That's a turn off. And I think that that's enough. Like, we don't have to wait to be thrown down the stairs anymore to decide. Like, you don't have to wait now for all these traumatic experiences to unfold. You have to decide very early on, does this fit with what you said you wanted? So the kind of partner that you want, with the kind of partner that you want, not ask if you made it safely, okay?
Right.
No, probably fucking not.
Right.
So then start deciding, okay, this person never checked. They didn't even follow up the next morning.
Right. Got kidnapped.
Fell down the bush.
Okay, like, you don't know nothing.
So and then the thing is that you're already made in your head, like, you know that your partner wouldn't do X, Y, and Z, but this person is clearly showing you that they're not capable of doing that.
Red flag.
Then, babe,
get out.
Get out. Stand up.
Yes. Stand up.
You know?
No, for real. I think that's real. I feel like it's also something that takes practice, where it's like, that is why I think that women will benefit from dating in real life or putting that energy out in real life, because you can literally say from your mouth, oh no, I'm not interested, or oh yes, I'm interested. And that to me almost like tells the universe, like, okay, bring more of this to her, so that's what she's attracted.
And also then when you're deciding that this doesn't work for me, and you're literally making a quick cut decision that it doesn't work. And also, like, I am in a space where I am communicating that, like, you know, moving forward, I don't see a romantic, you know, journey with you.
Right.
But that's okay. Like, it's not even no harm, no foul. It just doesn't work for me. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of the earth. Like, we can still exist in the same timeline with each other, but it just won't be romantic. And people honestly will respect that too. And that's also, again, it's like charging your empress energy.
Own, yes.
You know what I mean?
Because then
you have a power in yourself.
Yes, it's like you light the fire when you stick up for yourself. Like, how did you feel as a kid? Like, the one day you finally stuck up to the bully, or like the one day you finally put yourself first, or told the teacher that, like, actually that's not correct, this is correct. Like, when I was young, those little moments used to like give me my little boosts of confidence. And I feel like with dating, that is also so important. Like, the more you stand by your boundaries that you're setting, the stronger you get. And not in the way of strong that we're all fucking tired of being, but the more confident you get, really. You know what I'm saying? You're confident in yourself. So then when I say my boundary to you, when you come to me with something that doesn't work for me, I'm confident in saying no to you. I don't have any, you know, like, negative energy towards saying no. Like, I have no, you'll be the right person for somebody else, just not me.
And that's okay. And I think that's the thing is, please stop acting like you are not the prize here, okay?
Yes.
And I feel like it's a reprogramming within yourself that there's not, if you feel like you have to stay in something that literally makes you uncomfortable, or something that this doesn't mean, this person, when this person texts me, or when this person communicates with me like this, I feel something in my spirit that is disturbed. Like, this person is making me lose peace just by speaking with me every few days. It's always something that this person, I was so happy hanging out with my friends, and then I speak to this person, and in this conversation, he said something that just really was off-putting. Why are you sitting in that?
Right.
You know?
That's your intuition telling you what will serve you and what is not serving you. And if you have that negative reaction to it, it's like, those are the things
that's enough.
You have to pay attention to.
I think we have to start realizing that those are the flags. They're not going to be loud. They're the pink flags.
Yeah.
Literally, your spirit was disturbed for a reason.
Yes.
The person doesn't have to. You're not gonna. If you're on this timeline now where you have spiritually elevated somewhere else, you're not gonna have the kind of guys that are going to be calling out your name. You're not gonna have the kind of guys that are doing things that are blatant disrespect. But they will. It's gonna be certain things that will happen. Very small things, and it doesn't resonate well within your spirit, and that's enough. And I think it's like putting the stop button very early is saying that you are very clear on what you want and your tunnel is small and you accept it.
Yes. Like what gone are the days that we're attracting fuckboys. I think that's something like that's not even getting through.
We're meeting really great guys now. But now it's really again being very clear. Like cause now you're meeting really great guys.
Yeah. And then now it gets like more intentional. Like, okay, so then what do you really want? So like something for me, I was saying that I didn't mind
girl.
I don't mind dating a guy who we split things like 50-50. Like,
oh my god.
I think because I was trying to keep my tunnel as open as possible so that I would have access to more people so that I get to pick like what I would be okay with. So I was just saying, like, you know, I don't mind at the time. I'm making like 6 figures. Like,
I minded.
I'm like, whatever, like, you know, if I have, like, obviously I want him to have money and I want him to be able to do things for me, but like, I don't mind like doing things for him as well, which end up happening anyway, but I realized I wasn't really paying attention to what I really wanted, you know what I'm saying? And I think I got a true example of this with this last person that I was in a relationship with. And I remember telling Vashti, like, yeah, I think I want someone who, like, wants to take care of me. Not that I need it at all, but, like, it really does desire. She said, girl, this is the first time I've ever heard you say that, ever in your life.
Welcome to the club.
Okay.
Isn't it nice over here?
We're in the Empress Club, babe. I'm like, yeah.
And this is the thing. I'm one of those people that I really give when I love somebody. So don't get it mistaken, okay, boys? Who love to come from me in these comments.
Right.
I'm one of those people, you have to remember, like, when it's birthdays, when it's just because, I'm a just because girl. Like, I'm a rodeo girl. You know what I mean? Like, I will do the whole thing, like, randomly, like, I boop, 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 pop out with something cute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very giving, but I do feel like it is okay. It is okay to say what you actually want. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you have to remember, at this point in life, there are also the guys that want to do that too. There's going to be guys who genuinely want to, like, babe, please don't disrespect me and pull out your wallet, please.
No, literally. I was just looking at it was just a clip of a podcast with Tiana Taylor's husband. And he was talking about.
And guys don't care.
He was like, girl, we do not care. It's not that we don't want you to be successful and have your own things. That's dope, and I want to stand behind a woman who's intentional about the type of life that she wants. But I don't need anything from you, so I don't need you to pull out your wallet.
And my thing is this. Okay, right. It's bizarre. I think that's to me, it's just showing. I'm looking at it. You have to remember, I'm looking at it in a very different way. Because I live an amazing life by myself.
Period. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are literally doing
It's giving steak and
$200 lunches.
Tuesday,
you know what I'm saying? Like, Taco Tuesday is very it's not cheap for us.
Elaborate,
it's elaborate.
It's giving Javier's.
It's giving Javier's from Taco Tuesday. And then there's no deal at Javier's. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and also too, you have to remember we're vacationing. We're literally doing all the things. Like, we are resorting. We're doing all the things, right?
Yes, we are.
So it doesn't make sense to me to then have someone in my realm and you're weird about you want me to split this bill with you?
Right. I don't get that. I barely even split with my
We share with each other.
Right.
So like, I got this. So it just makes absolutely no sense. And and for me, the life that I want is to be a philanthropist. So like, I'm a very giving person in the way that, like, I intentionally will have cash on me to give to other people. Me and you intentionally buy people's lunches who need food. You know what I'm saying? When we're at a restaurant. So it doesn't make sense to me that you're this. Because it's giving lack, babes.
Yeah.
It's giving lack, and I don't like the energy of lack,
somebody said that.
I want to give away everything that I make at some point, but before I die, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to give it out so much to other people that if you have this energy that you feel like this $100 is really gonna, like, kill you, it's the energy that I don't like. It's not even that I need you for anything. It's that the energy, babe. I'm planning to give away hundreds of millions of dollars before I die, right?
And you can't even pay for this $100 bill.
So it's the energy that it's like, if you're being like this, you're gonna feel a way when I'm like bidding for us to like donate to this hospital. You're gonna feel some kind of way. You're gonna feel like I'm taking away from us or whatever, which is an energy, and that's what it is. It's the bigger picture. I'm not looking at the small things. I'm looking at the big things. Because don't give me that face when I'm sitting up here on this auction block, okay?
Okay. Listen, now I said what I was gonna do before we got here, so you don't give me all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want somebody who's like, yeah, like let's do it.
I want a generous man. I want a man.
Let's get that West Wing, babe.
Who's generous with his time, generous with his energy, generous with his money. Period. I've decided that is a part of the generosity realm that I'm attracting.
So then it's about setting boundaries, right?
Yeah. So I feel like moving forward, like because I don't necessarily want to meet someone online, I would really, really love to meet someone in person. I'm gonna do the apps.
Woo! Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna do the apps.
I feel like you're not literally gonna meet the person in person.
You gotta come up to me. I've asked I've asked every single man that I've dated if they would have come up to me in real life, and every single one of them has said no. So whoever this person is that I'm
also
meant
it's
to
given
be with,
he wasn't man enough for me.
Okay. It's really given that. So I'm like, I want someone who feels confident enough in themselves where even if I were to turn you down right now in front of this whole restaurant of people, your energy is still on. It ain't stopping no show. You're still walking around like still pay for the drink. You know what? I still had to come over here and pay for this drink for you because I love that type of energy. So I feel like
you also are the kind of person that be like, I will send a drink. I'm like, yes.
Period. But see, that's what I love, that boss bitch energy. Like I love being when I like someone and if I feel the energy right away, I will just go for it. I'm fire sign. We don't have time to wait, honey. Just go right ahead. So I will send a DM. I will send a drink. I will find your phone number on the call list and text you. Like I just am someone who likes to go for it. So I kind of that's what I mean by attracting my same energy. Like I want someone to meet me with that same vibe.
But again, you're making the tunnel small, so you will.
Yes, it's very small.
So how do you set boundaries and stick by them while you're dating in this space?
Okay, so a big boundary for me.
What are your boundaries?
I'll just say this is the biggest one that I get the most like controversy when I'm talking to my clients or talking to friends or whatever. A huge boundary of mine is I have sex with condoms. I don't know why.
The fact that that's a huge boundary is
I don't know why it's such a huge boundary, but literally most men, like once they're like, yeah, we can a little bit, but when it gets to, you get comfortable enough to say something about it, then you go ask me not to have sex without a condom?
It's crazy to me that you would, like guys, and this is, again, very bizarre, is that scares me about you.
That scares me about you.
It scares the shit out of me.
I don't trust you.
It shows that you just out here. And I'm like, and I feel like the way, I don't know if I was a man in my past life, you're so loose. Why are you just out here like this?
That is a huge boundary of mine because, I mean, with all honesty, I have been in a toxic relationship before. I have been in an abusive relationship before. I have been pregnant before, okay? So I feel like because I've experienced these, contrast situations, it creates a firm post of that boundary to me. That was a way that person was able to manipulate me because of this one thing. And so moving forward, I decided this is a huge boundary for me. I don't care who you are. I don't care if we're dating. Like,
and also, guys, please have some self-respect for yourself.
You slut.
Like, y'all just out here, like,
slut it out.
Like, and think about it. What? I feel like if you, and again, I've had a guy tell me that I'm a Ferrari and he ain't even been with a BMW. That was the last recent thing. So for me personally, I feel like y'all need to tighten up. Okay? Because if you want, you sit out here and you say that you want this kind of woman, honey, it's years worth of shadow work. So if you are going to want a kind of woman that has truly worked on themselves and is elevated in a different space, and you know what it is to have a woman in that space, you need to be doing the work too.
Period. So I feel like when it comes to setting boundaries
and take care of yourself.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, this is how you weed out people who aren't really acting upon what they're saying.
Oh.
So the tunnel is very small. So the people who are getting in that I have experienced are counterfeits in contrast to the real thing.
Right.
And a lot of times those counterfeits, those men who aren't necessarily the one, but they want to be the one.
So bad.
They want to stick by your boundaries, but only so much time will pass before they start dipping into who they really are. Like, you can only pretend for so long. So I feel like I stick to my boundaries past the 6 months, past the year. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's how you weed out the fake before the real. You know what I'm saying? So
and if you met your counterfeit and you feel like, and this is the thing, ladies, if you met somebody and you're dating somebody, you're like, I really, because I did so much work, like, some girls were celibate, you know what I'm saying? They did so much work, and they're like,
yes.
oh, like, I really thought this one was the one.
Yeah.
Like, I really was intentional. I was cool by myself. Like, I waited so long, and you met the one that's the counterfeit. That's okay, because that just shows that you are right
so close.
There.
So close.
Right there.
And honestly, so this is the story, like, about the counterfeit, because I heard this, or we had heard it the same day.
Yeah.
Right after the breakup, and we were watching a sermon, and the woman who was speaking was saying the difference between the counterfeit.
One LA.
Whoop, shout out. The difference between the counterfeit and the real thing is the counterfeit looks exactly like the real thing. And so if you, as a woman of abundance and grace and all of these things that you're trying to attract, if you can't tell the difference between a counterfeit and the real thing, then you're not ready for the real thing. And sometimes God will show the counterfeit. You will attract the counterfeit just to show you, is she ready for the real thing, or is she still accepting low vibrational? Which, the only thing that is low vibrational is anything that's not high vibrational. So it doesn't mean that he's a negative, like, red flag.
Right.
The flags might still be pink. Like, the
pink.
flags are still pink.
They're not just red anymore.
Yes, it's just, is he the real thing, or does he just look and feel like the real thing? Because the second you can tell who the real thing is, what it looks like, what it feels like, that's when it's like God's like, she's ready.
She's ready. And I'm telling you that because the person is right there. It's just
So,
almost like the last test, honestly. That's what
it
I feel
really
like.
is.
It's the last test, you know?
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's so wild. Dating is such, I think that, okay, so what is one bit of advice that you would give to someone who was just starting to date now that she has gone through, like, their initial, like, awakening? What is, like,
I would
number one
say
advice?
the number one advice, if you've done the work on yourself, that's the biggest thing for me, is I don't just jump into dating. Like, I do take my time, like, with myself, and, really learn this next version. Yeah. And that takes time. So I think really taking time with yourself and finding joy again with yourself, because it is hard. Like I told you, I've always had long relationships. They're literally minimum 2 years. It would be 2 years, 4 years, 3 years, right? So I think it's a lot of time to spend with somebody. So I think learning what you want your life to look like with all of the lessons. And that's what I always say. It's not that they were like breakups. I don't even like that term. I feel like they were just lessons for this new version of myself that I'm gonna explore. And I find it more of an adventure, because it's like, damn, I thought that was it, but it wasn't. So, and I always have an act of gratitude from each relationship. That's the difference, I think, how I come out of it, is that I don't have a negative, like, oh, F him, like, I really come out of it like, I'm doing a lot of scripting and journaling, and I'm really taking the gratitude from each person, because also, like, no one's perfect. So I feel like we've all learned a lot from each other, and it was very intentional, and it was very divine the way you meet people, and it's a reason why. So if you're opening your heart to having the gratitude of what you took out of it, that's what makes you that empress. Like, that is like some empress energy. So when you're going into, like, dating somebody else, when you're healed and you are meeting somebody else, the person is actually very shocked that, like, you don't have anything negative to say about, because they're used to girls talking back. And I literally come out of it like, oh no, he's a really kind guy, it just didn't work. But and I come out of it with gratitude, and that's an elevated experience. So when men are looking at you, they're like, oh, she's not some broken girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this date is not from desperation. This date is from, like, she genuinely gave me her time tonight. It's not coming from her being lonely. It's coming from, like, oh, she fit me into her life, and she's open to seeing this experience. But also, too, they're also very aware that I'm okay without you as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I would choose myself. And
I'm always going to choose myself. And that is what someone literally told me, that was the most attractive thing about me, was that they had to fit into my schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I don't alter anything.
Right. Well, I'll take that.
Period. So sometimes you have to say no.
Here's the thing. Most of the time you're going to have to say no.
But even if you know the details, like, babe, don't be so available. Don't be so available. You know? Yes. And it's not even about faking it. It's really about, like, you promised yourself after that last relationship that you promised that you would stick to this daily routine. You promised yourself that you would do X, Y, and Z. So then the moment you meet somebody, it all goes out the window. Babe, what happened?
You didn't stop meditating.
You done stopped everything. You stopped drinking water. Like,
you didn't turn into a whole. You didn't gain the pounds back.
Yeah.
Talking about relationship.
So I think it's really about being firm. And if you feel yourself slipping back into, you're not doing the stuff that you were doing, and like you're gaining all the way back. I don't know, whatever the things are for you, where you're slipping back just from dating somebody for within a month. I then would go, boop, babes. I have to get literally. That's when you have to refocus all of your attention back on yourself, because you know that, like, if you're not putting yourself first, and that's the thing about men, men are gonna put themselves first.
Yes,
and that's what we're saying. Like, men, we always have this thing when relationships end, like, men can bounce, quote unquote, are bouncing back fast. Like, they either get engaged quickly after,
right after a breakup,
and I realize that it's almost ego that we think it's, oh, because he's just so hurt, so he just went to the next person and he just couldn't live without me, so he just got whatever was on the street. Honey, he didn't change his life fully for you. Women have a tendency of fully changing their lives,
world.
Like, to the point where your desires as a woman, what you said you want, what you promised yourself in January, babe, you done threw it all out the window the moment you started dating this person. You done forgot that you said you wanted.
She's speaking to somebody, okay?
You done forgot that you said that you wanted to lose him. How you done forgot that you said you wanted to be more charitable. You forgot that you said that you wanted to start this business. You forgot everything. And you have to remember, men don't stop that trend for you at all.
No, they don't.
And the thing about it is that women will find it attractive that, like, oh, he puts his career first because you're feeling like you're benefiting from it. But baby, don't get that confused. They bounce back because they did not have to change themselves for you. They do like little things like to like alter your personality, but don't get that mistaken. They did not alter their lives for you to fit. You fit their life.
Right.
And that's usually why women feel so devastated after, because you became another person to fit them and it still didn't work.
And now they're gone and you're like, who am
I now?
Yeah.
And baby, that's what we can take from men.
I heard that. I think that's the thing that it took me now at 31 years old, being able to finally see, like, I see what you mean by that. Because I think that when we're younger, we just think we know everything. And I think that's something that I really I swore that I just knew all the things that I needed to know. I'm ready to be a mom. I'm ready to get married at 19. Like, the things I was saying. So I think what I would say is just live in the moment. Don't get so caught up in future. Don't get so caught up in past. Stay in the current space that you're in. Because sometimes when we're so focused on, like, oh my God, can I see myself marrying him? Can I see myself having his babies? Because we all do it. But you're not allowing to even see the pink flags right in front of you. They're just going right past your head because you're already 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line.
And you have to remember, men don't think like that. And
no,
that's
they don't.
But that's why they're keeping their peace. So if it doesn't work out,
they're like,
it's okay.
It's fine. We're devastated because it's like, I already had
the house,
3
cars.
kids. I done met your mom already.
I done put you in the
We got married, okay? And now
you're like,
babe,
I didn't even think about dinner next week.
Right. They're like, what are you even talking about? So I think, and the part that really got me with that was when I listened back to an old reading that I got and I heard myself speak about this relationship. I already knew that he wasn't going to be the one. Wow. And I said it out of my mouth. You know, sometimes I'm the type of person who can maybe get so caught up in what their lives would look like. That's how I create the allure and the fun, and that's what makes it exciting for me. But I will get so caught up in that I'm not listening to what he's saying right now, which is I don't want to be attached to just this. I want to be here with you so that we can experience a real relationship. And I think that if it didn't fit in what I was seeing, I wasn't able to. I just, so hearing myself, literally this reading was probably 3 months ago, hearing all that back as me saying it really put things into perspective. Like, it was never supposed to be forever. It was supposed to be for a season. And if I stayed present, then I would have seen that, and it is 10 times easier to move past because I know that, like, I'm not changed in a negative way.
And that's the thing. I think
we're doing it.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're learning. We're growing.
No, we're
okay?
doing it. And also, like I said, have the gratitude that you had to literally experience that because you wouldn't fucking know what you wanted.
I know. Like, literally, I can see things a little bit clearer now that he's gone. And it's like, it's sad. We wish you love and light, and we hope that you get all of your dreams come true, all of the things.
We know that for you. Please come on the podcast. Too.
Okay, we gonna invite them on.
We're gonna invite them on. We'll invite both of them.
I know. That would be good.
Yeah,
I feel like comment down below.
Comment down below if y'all want to hear from the exes at Lightwork.
Yes. This was good. I feel like we should leave the girls with that. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask us, please feel free to.
I think we're going to do a story time also. So check our stories on Instagram.
Yes.
God loves you.
God loves you. Don't forget that ever. You are divine. You are exactly where you want to be.
And sit on your
right now.
motherfucking
throne. You are a goddess.
Goddess energy only.
Period. Love you.
Love you.
Yeah.
That was so good. No, that was so good.
Yeah, stop it.
Oh my god.
It was actually really good. Damn, you